Hey, welcome. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the 24th of April, 2014. How y'all doing today? Hope you're doing awesome. Hey, so much going on in the news right now. And apparently people are getting all over Cliven Bundy about a comment about Negroes. And he basically says, are they better off now than they were as slaves? Well, that's a good question. I'd like to know the answer to that. I don't believe there's any difference. It went from, and I posted this on Facebook, they went, the black people of the 18th and 17th, the 18 and 1700s, even back then, even in the 1900s, early 1900s, and the 20th century, the earliest 20th century, they are stronger now than they were then in terms of who they are, their identity, who they want to be. They find that identity and they move within that. And there's a lot of strong, very prominent black people in our country today that work their butts off to get to where they're at. I applaud them. Seriously, because anybody could be suppressed. And back then, when our ancestors stole them from other countries and brought them over here and sold them to rich, plantation owners and everything, they were suppressed. Now, a lot of our history is totally wrong about the slavery that happened in our early days of this country, even prior to the formation of the United States. And mostly what we hear now is a bunch of lies. Okay? Just a bunch. And people focus on black people as being slaves. Did you know there were Chinese people as slaves? Did you know there were white people as slaves? Did you know that there were Mexicans as slaves and Native Americans as slaves? So let's not just focus on one group of people. Let's focus on all of it. Let's focus on finding the truth and the facts in all of this. Let's look back on history and examine the very nature of where this whole situation began. Okay? And then, when you have a valid argument, then you can state it. But until you get over this ideology, if you will, of white, black, we're better, they're inferior, we're superior, they're, that kind of crap. Get away from all of that. Because our identity is not in our ethnicity. It's not in our race. Our identity is not our race. Our identity is our humanity. It has nothing to do with skin color. I got friends who are black, white, Chinese, Japanese, Mexican. It doesn't matter. I got friends of mine, some women who married, black guys and Mexican guys and Asian guys, and doesn't matter to me. They're part of humanity. So when you want to throw stones at someone like Clive Bundy for making a statement and asking a question, are they any better today than they were when they were slaves? Then you better check your reality at the door. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's no different. Because they're the ones that struggled and worked and kicked butt and got into positions of leadership in this country, the black people. I applaud them. I'll shake their hands. But the ones who connived and stole and cheated and lied to get to the top, I don't want to have anything to do with them. But, reality check, that's true in every race. It's not just one. Okay? So anybody that wants to be racist and think that Cliven Bundy's racist and thinks that your neighbor's is racist and all this, that, and the other thing, you better check yourself. You better look in the mirror and do a double check, triple check, quadruple check, and find out about your own history before you go and pointing fingers and start accusing of somebody of being something that you have allegedly said they are, but in reality, they're not. Okay? So, get over it. Don't be so stupid. And just move on. Okay? Move on. 3 types of people I don't like: liars, thieves, and racists. Okay? I mean, that's just, mama didn't raise no fool. If my mama ever thought that I was even, if I even showed a hint of being racist, I wouldn't be alive today. I'll put it to you that way. Okay? I grew up in Stockton, California. I walked the streets for a while. I have friends of every race, creed, and religion that you can think of. And let me tell you something. It's called humanity. And anybody that doesn't have any common sense to check their reality and to get rid of their racism is the dumbest person on the face of this planet. Period. End of sentence. So let me take a little break and I'll be right back. What's on your mind? Chances are it's on their mind too. Check out Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Only on Spreaker.com.
The views expressed. The high-caliber, armor-piercing halotip round that pierces right through your soul. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time on Spreaker.com.
Hey, welcome back. Appreciate that very much for you listening to me. Lots of things going on, lots of things that we have to really pay attention to. And first of all, I want to thank Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. You can find that on Facebook. I want to thank him for being on the show yesterday. I know that the sound truly sucked because of Skype. So there's got to be another way to have it clearer. Okay. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Nick Tucker. Appreciate that very much. The commonality that we have within our society is becoming very prominent. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we seek freedom and liberty. And because of what's happened in Bunkerville with the Bundy Ranch situation, and now what's happening in Texas with land near the Oklahoma border, the governor there just said to the BLM, "Come on, let's see what you got. Come take it." And Texas ain't going to put up with it, and neither did Nevada, and neither did a whole lot of people who came from elsewhere to support Clive Bundy and his thing. Now, Glenn Beck is saying, and others are saying, that Clive Bundy broke the law. No, he didn't. It's all grandfathered in. Go back, look at everything there is. Okay? And also examine the fact that the BLM and all these other government alphabet soup organizations and private companies contracted by the federal government and the Department of Interior, which the BLM is, came along to 52 other ranchers and bought them out, stole their land, regulated them to the brink of bankruptcy. Okay, and that's what it was. The EPA came in, the BLM came in, these other people came in and started regulating these ranchers to the nth degree and stole all their property. Okay, go look at Reed Bunkerville LLC and you'll see who's behind it all. And that would be Harry Reid, folks. And so here is, Clive and Bundy, the lone rancher out there who did not break the law. And he said, and you can go back, obviously, if you have brains enough to figure this out, I'm going to tell you, that you need to go back and read what he said when they asked him about the fees and all of this. Do you know what fees are when it comes to paying the government? You know what these fees are? They're taxes, folks. Don't give me any more crap about that. I've heard it. I'm up to my eyeballs in opinions about, well, that's not taxes. Yeah, it's a tax, folks, period. Okay? Enough. Get your damn facts straight before you come confront me thinking that I'm wrong. It's tax. Do you understand that? Okay. He says he doesn't mind paying and will pay the fees and all of that, but not to the federal government. He'll pay them to the state because he wants the money to go to the people and all of that. He will not pay it to the federal government. And he has, and lawyers, I've heard attorneys, experts on land and everything else say that he has a perfectly good right to do that because it was grandfathered in, and therefore, and of course, the state of Nevada being a sovereign state. When all of that was set up, when his family back in 1877 or from that date forward had that land, it was the sovereign state of Nevada. I don't want to hear it anymore. The government comes along and steals everything that you have and says it's theirs now and that you have to pay a fee if you want to use it. No. No. My stuff, my way. Government, get your ass out of my life now. Period. And when I say government, I'm talking federal government. We need to abolish the IRS. We need to abolish the Federal Reserve. We need to abolish a bunch of alphabet soup departments in Washington, D.C. because they serve no purpose. All they do is take money out of our pockets. That's all. It's like shaking our hand with one hand and taking our wallet out and taking out $5 and saying thank you for that and just walking away. Wait a minute. Whoa. Have you ever seen a magician on stage or on TV? I've stood in front of a magician many years ago, a professional magician who has been on stage, and I got to tell you, the things he did, the sleight of hand he did in front of me, I still, to this day, don't know how it was done. But it was sleight of hand. And this is what the federal government is doing. They're telling you, oh, you have a house? Oh, you have to pay property tax. Wait a minute. I bought the property. No, it doesn't matter. We now own that whole section of your city. What? I didn't know that. Nobody sent me. I never sold it to you. It's my property. I will do what I want. Well, you have to pay property tax. Wait a minute. I'm essentially renting my property from the federal government every year when I pay property tax. Are you out of your flippin' minds? Okay? So let me gear you into, well, I don't want to say that. I'm going to use some other vernacular in this. Let me direct your attention to the Constitution of the United States of America and the Bill of Rights. When that was put together, the founders, the people that signed the Constitution and made those amendments, knew exactly what was going to happen if we, the people, allowed their government to continue to piecemeal the Constitution and take away our rights. They knew it. They knew it. That is why there's a Second Amendment. That is why there's a 10th Amendment. They knew this. Don't complicate the simplicity of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights with your lack of understanding and your stupidity about what you think it means. No. The basic understanding is government, stay the hell out of my business. We are protected. our God-given rights are protected by this piece of paper, and the government shall not infringe upon any of these rights that are protected, period. That's the basics. Go look at it, folks. Just go to archive.com or go to the government websites or go to look up Constitution and Bill of Rights. It'll pop up in your browser. Read it yourself. There is not one thing in this country that I can say that is, well, let me rephrase that because I'm thinking of one specific thing. If you were to look at this country 238 years ago and compare it to what's happening now, you would know specifically that our rights are being taken away, period. If you were to look at Washington, D.C. and how they operate, you will know, and you compare that to other countries in the last 150 some odd years, or at least 100 years, you will know that Washington, D.C. is running under the ideological philosophy of Marxism, and we have a dictator in the White House. That's, basic stuff, folks. Basic stuff. Basic stuff. Now, when you look at other things as well, when you look at your city governments, your county governments, all of that, you can go to your county board of supervisors and ask for the documents pertaining to county governance. You can look at those. They're public record. Hello. They have to be. You can do the same thing with your city. You can do the same thing with your state. You look at those documents and then you decide what kind of state you live in. In the state of Nevada, being Nevada as it is, Nevada is the most corrupt state in the United States of America. When I say corrupt, I'm talking corrupt. Many, many years ago, a fellow, a man went to his friends and said, hey, there's this big patch of land out in this area of Nevada where trains come in and soldiers come in and stuff, and then they stop there and then they rest and then they go on. There's a big patch of land out there, and I want to, and it's a little tiny city, so I want to build it up. I want to do something. And at this time, when this person said this to his friends, it was Reno, Nevada, and Sparks, Nevada. They're there. It's a train. It was there. It was a nice little town. This guy went to his friends and said, hey, I can make you millionaires out here. And they looked at him and went, really? Seriously? Huh. That's kind of interesting. So they gave him some money. And he came out and he built this big, huge hotel casino. Well, he didn't, really, didn't really spend the money wisely. Certain things happened to him later on, but it began to build. And the idea of what was there, the concept of what was there was good. But a bunch of people that this person dealt with decided, we can make more if we did this. So they did. They did. And it wasn't in Reno Sparks. It was in Las Vegas. And the hotel that this person built and overspent to build was the Flamingo. And that person's name was Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. And the people he talked with were a bunch of mafia people back in Chicago and New York. And the financial arm of their organizations, I use that word loosely, was a man by the name of Meyer Lansky. Now you take all of that and you track the money. You connect the dots and you will see corruption at its worst. 1981, Las Vegas, Nevada. Car bomb. Blew a car up, but the person survived. And that person's name is Lefty Rosenthal. Yes, I know all about the inner workings and the processes, if you will, of the mafia, of organized crime, where it came from, how it works, what it was meant to do, what it wound up being. Yes, Nevada has been the focal point of all of the organized crime organizations in the world. I'm not just talking Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, or Miami, or LA. I'm talking, that would be Los Angeles. I'm talking the world. Track the holding companies. Track the people that own them. Track the people that invest in them. Track the people. You will see that Nevada is the most corrupt state in the union. Now, a lot of people now, let me go to this side of the coin. A lot of people are saying, but we have to get rid of that vision that people have of Nevada being so corrupt. Okay, they tried that several years ago in Las Vegas. They had a room at the Flamingo with Bugsy Siegel's name on it. There was a proposal to, to suppress all of the information that people have about how Las Vegas was built. And it wasn't just the mafia. It wasn't just organized crime. Does Howard Hughes ring a bell to any of you? Several years ago, I remember reading an article about how they were trying to suppress the information about how Las Vegas was built. Several years after that, they built a statue of Bugsy Siegel. Kind of contradicting themselves, don't you think? Kind of ironic, don't you think? Thank you, Alanis Morissette. But facts are facts, people. They're all right there in front of your face. They're all right there in front of your face. Now, what does this have to do with Clive Bundy and all of the, let me bottom line it for you. Forget about Clive Bundy for a minute. Let me bottom line it for you. People will look at things. They know it's true. They have the facts. It's right there in their face, but they operate with cognitive dissonance. In other words, they don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe that their wonderful leaders of the United States of America are so corrupt, that they're tyrants, that they want to enslave all of us, that the Bilderberg Group will meet here every 4 years and guide things through. People don't want to know that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton met at the Chantilly hotel, the hotel there, Marriott Hotel in Chantilly, Virginia, right, not that far away from Washington, D.C., and discussed situations and made deals and left reporters on a plane with Robert Gibbs, I believe was the spokesman, the press person at that time. Nobody wants to understand that. Nobody wants to see that. It's right there in your face. Folks, the big-ass truck is coming to run you over, and you need to get the hell out of the way. But cognitive dissonance says, oh, that truck won't hit me. He'll stop before he hits me. He's going to stop. Doesn't look like he's stopping. But he'll stop. I know he will, because he's not stopping. That's cognitive dissonance, folks. You know it's true. You know the facts. They're right there in front of you. They bit you in the ass, and you're sitting there going, oh, I didn't get bit in the ass. That wasn't, oh, wow, that's not. What? Folks, wake the hell up. You're being duped by your state-run media, your MSNBC, CNN, Fox, everybody. You're getting screwed, blued, and tattooed intellectually, and you don't really give a crap, do you? Well, you better start caring, because right now, today, things are going to change. There's a press conference or something happening at Bunkerville right now that's going to change this whole thing. It's going to change this whole thing. And guess who's at the top of the pile in Nevada trying to save his ass? That would be Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. Now, some people might look at me and go, you don't like him, do you? I don't like corruption. And anybody committing any type of corruption needs to be booted out and arrested and thrown in prison. Like I said, I don't like liars. I don't like thieves. I don't like any of those people. And I don't like racists. But I'm telling you right now, Cliven Bundy is not racist. He's asking a legitimate question. Are black people any better today than they were when they were slaves? When their ancestors were slaves? No, I say no. They're not. But the ones that have struggled and worked and pushed and got to the top and made something of themselves, I'll shake their hand all day long. I'll have dinner with them. I'll pat them on the back. I want to thank them. It doesn't matter what color they are. I mean, that's like asking people, it doesn't matter if Donald Trump is rich and somebody in your hometown is just as wealthy and, of a different nature, It just doesn't make any sense. And you far left liberal libtards out there, you far left liberal loons who think that everything has to be your way. Let me give you a reality check. You're dumb as a box of rocks. Because if you just look at the situation and you examine it with common sense and logic, you would know, and you would have that epiphany with the light bulb going on in your head, you would understand that, it's no big deal. Just move the hell on and enjoy the rest of your day, because making a big deal out of this to try to shove a wedge between what is right and what is correct and what is wrong and incorrect, I can tell you right now, you far left liberal loons are going to lose every single time. Common sense and logic are going to beat you down to the point of you being obliterated into the abyss. You have no way to understand any of this. And you think that just because you point fingers and accuse somebody of something, that's going to cause problems. Well, you're the bully in the schoolyard. Or you're the type of person that will go to somebody and go, see that guy across the yard there? He thinks you're a butthead. And then you'll go to the other guy that you just pointed to and say, you see that guy over there? He says your mama's ugly. And guess what? You've started to fight, dumbass. So why don't you just back up, get a reality check, and get your butt some education so you can understand what's going on around you instead of just sitting back complaining, pointing fingers, and accusing everybody. I'll be back right after this.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Come join Reverend Wayne S. Pierce on The Views Expressed Monday through Friday at 4 Pacific 7 Eastern on Spreaker.com.
Hey, you can't say I'm not upfront and transparent and tell it like it is, right? Well, I do. So, anyway, so many things going on, so many things happening that, people need to just relax. You know what I mean? People just have to relax because as far as I'm concerned, and this is me talking, this is my perspective, okay? People have this, I've seen it. People have this thought that if nothing is their way, it's not going to be good, so they're going to criticize it or try to debunk it or try to demean it or try to discredit it or whatever, if it's not their way. Okay, and that's a general statement because I know that not a whole lot of people are like that. Excuse me. But I can tell you this, there are times I find myself in that same boat. If it were, and looking at certain things, I would think to myself, well, why can't people just do this? Why can't people just be this way and everything will be fine? Right? Well, I understand that you have your own perspective. Oh, let's get into that for a minute, shall we? Perspective. Stand in a room. Just stand there. Look straight ahead. Some of you military people will know this. Stand at attention. Look straight ahead. Don't move your eyes. Don't move your head. Don't do anything. Just stand at attention. Look straight ahead. Look at the imaginary dot that's in front of you, or pick something on the wall. Who cares? Don't look around. That is your perspective. Now, turn your head, turn your eyes. Don't turn your body. Just stand there. But just turn your head and look around, look up. That is what you're perceiving. Your perception is more. You've instead of just looking straight ahead, your perception is now a little wider. You look up, down, sideways, whatever. Now, if you can compare anything that you're looking at to anything else, try to interpret it. Okay? Where your perspective is one thing. What your perception is entirely based upon your perspective. And your perception and what you try to understand is based entirely upon your understanding of how to interpret certain things in life. But the only way that you can do that is by comparing those things in life that you've encountered, that you've experienced. Now, a lot of people look at me and tell me, that's not right. We're going to see whatever we want our way, and that's just the way it is. Have at it. Have a nice day. Enjoy. You're going to be entirely wrong, but go ahead and enjoy it. Tell you why I say that. You and I are sitting there standing on the street looking at a red Volkswagen. You're going, that's a pretty neat looking Volkswagen. Volkswagen Beetle, you've seen those. I go, yeah, but did you notice the crack in the back window? What? There's a crack? Yeah. Did you notice that there's no knob on the shifter, on the shift handle? What? I didn't notice that. You notice that one of the tires is a little low. Did you notice the dent in the back fender? No, I didn't know. Why are you pointing out all this stuff? Because I want you to know that this isn't all that great. Yeah, it's a nice looking car if it was not so dinged up. See what I'm saying? I'm showing you the cracks. I'm showing you the dents. I'm showing you everything that's out there. I'm pulling away the curtain and showing you who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. And who's stirring the pot. And who's putting poison in the water. And who's putting poison in the air. And who's putting, crap in our food. And who's, And you people are still looking at me saying that I'm a conspiracy theorist? Are you so stupid that you can't see the dents in the car? Well, as long as it runs, it's a flat tire, we'll just fill it up. Why is the tire low? Why is it going low all the time? Well, it doesn't matter, I'll just put air in it. Really? The dents, it doesn't matter. I can just get out there one day and pull them out a little bit if I am so inclined to get up off my ass and go do that. Or I'll have somebody else do it. Right? That's okay. The car's got a couple of dents. I'll have my neighbor do it. He'll do it for free. Yeah, that's right up my alley. I don't want to pay anybody to do anything, so therefore I'm going to have my neighbor do it. Right? Folks, I'm pointing this stuff out to you, and you're sitting there going, "This what? What? Huh?" Well, let me point something out to you. Let me give you a reality check. The only thing that you need to be aware of at this point in time, right now on the 24th of April, 2014, is the fact that your government is screwing you every which way they can, and they're doing everything they can to avoid eye contact with you as they're screwing you. And they're taking and they're doing things over at another place. In other words, their state-run media, their media industrial complex, is causing you to be distracted by something that's happening elsewhere while they, in the same process, are creating another false flag event in some other location. Okay? Are we on the same page? Shall I change the book? Shall I turn the page? Reality check, folks. You're being screwed, blued, and tattooed every which way they can do it, and they're not making eye contact with you because they don't want you to know that they're doing it to you. So they're having some of their other minions doing it to you. And then they're bringing in some other, people that do it to you. Like the United Nations and the Small Arms Treaty, or the FCC reneging or taking back or turning around, making a 180-degree turn on net neutrality. Okay? Then you have places like New York State, which is and of course California as well, which are all fascist states. They're both fascist states. Now, I don't know what other state in the Union has a fascist state like New York or California, but I'm sure there are many. Oh, and by the way, let me fill you in on another piece of reality check here, folks. And I'm not Ben Swan, but let me give you something else to chew on. How's this? A right-to-work state is illegal. It was made legal due to the fact that we are the United States Incorporated. Therefore, the right to work, quote unquote, the right to work state is there to enslave you, period, end of sentence. It does not allow you to create a union, nor does it give you it gives you the semblance of choice whether or not you want to join a union. That is what these libtards want you to know, and that's what they focus on. They're not telling you that it is against the law and it's against civil rights to where you and I cannot form a union to be able to have better pay, better working conditions. This is what right to work state does. That's only part of it. So if I'm wrong in that area, I'm okay with that. But the rest of it, right to work state destroys the economy, period. End of sentence, done. Go check it out yourself. Oh, and while you're doing that, check out at-will employment policies. They are a violation of our civil rights, period. Done. Go check it out. And again, folks, if I'm wrong about anything, I know you're going to hold me accountable to it and send me information. And I already know what information you're going to send me. I know how you're going to look for it. You're going to look for anything that's going to contradict anything that I say, and you're going to point to that and say that this information that you send me is going to be the correct information. No, it's not. I already know your tricks. I've got your playbook. I know what you're going to do next. So what you need to do is you need to really research this stuff out, and then first of all, get rid of all your preconceived ideas about whatever it is you've learned, and then relearn everything. Check all this stuff out, investigate it, research it, send me the information, and you tell me why you disagree with me. Take all the information I give you, and then you go research it and tell me why you disagree with me. Because I already know you're going to try to find anything that's contradictory to what I say, whether or not it's true or not, and you're going to tell me that I'm wrong. I already know it. I've seen your playbook. So, bring it on. Bring it on. A lot of things are happening in our country today, folks, and we have to be very much aware as to what those things are, and we have to be educated on how to not educated on what they are, but also how to defend ourselves and to come to an understanding of how to counteract all of the crap that they're throwing at us. Okay, so there's that to look at as well. If you have any questions, concerns, you want to disagree with me, hey, bring it on, man. Free America Radio at USA.com. FreeAmericaRadio@USA.com. The website is thewaynesPierceShow.weebly.com. Go check out that site. If you agree with me, fine. If you don't, fine. Hey, just give me your view. I'm cool with that. I'm okay. Hey, let's sit down and have lunch. How's that? We can talk about this stuff. Not a big deal. You know, if you want to sponsor the show, you can go to the there's a little tab over there that says more. Click on that. You'll see sponsors page. And those rates, hey, you're cool, man. If you don't want to do that, that's fine too, because I have a donate button there. You can donate to Free America Radio Network to keep this show on the air. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support. If you have any questions about any of that, just email me, freeamericaradio@USA.com. freeamericaradio@USA.com. I want to take a little break here. Take a little break, get some water, do what I got to do. So I shall return right after this. See that car in your rear view mirror? The driver wants to kill you. Don't take it personally. You just happen to be in the way. Now, with a gun in one hand and a steering wheel in the other, this distant runner-up in the human race feels empowered for the very first time. At least our boys finally found a purpose in life. Red Asphalt by Scott Cherney. Available at Amazon.com. For close to a century, our government leaders have been manipulated by sinister groups behind the scenes. The facts are out there, mostly hidden in plain sight. For over 15 years, one man has been at the forefront of the alternative media, both on terrestrial radio and now the internet. He has been given access and documents to the most secretive methods of those that are truly running our government. that man is Alex Jones. For more information, go to www.infowars.com or prisonplanet.com and listen to his nationally syndicated radio show, live audio streaming at infowars.com or prisonplanet.com. Waking up the masses. Truth, knowledge, and wisdom for your consumption. Waking up the masses. News and views concerning the New World Order. Waking up the masses. Join Bob Brutus as he pulls back the curtain on the esoteric agenda which has been in play for a millennia. Waking up the masses. WakingUpTheMasses.com. Hey, welcome back, folks. Thank you. Go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site and donate if you'd like to Free America Radio Network. Donate if you want to sponsor the show. If you want to be a sponsor on the show, please go to the little tab up there. It says More. You'll see Sponsors page, and that's what you'll pay, no more. Yeah, I know. Somebody's going, well, geez, that's kind of low, don't you think? I'm not here, folks, I'm okay. I'm just saying. To me, if you can help, that's great. You can donate. If you can, do want to sponsor a show, put your ad on the show, that's fine too. I mean, I'm okay. But I really would encourage you to do that because it helps this particular show. It also helps Free America Radio Network and also helps the Views Express Live, which is Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern at freeamericaradio.us. So it helps out a great deal. So thank you very much. So anyway. Got a few more minutes here, folks. What have we talked about so far? What have I talked about so far? If you have any, anything to say about any of this, please email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com, because I would love to hear from you. I really would. I'd like to get your take on all of this stuff and what your views are. So freeamericaradio@usa.com. That is freeamericaradio@usa.com. You can also go to the website, thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com, and check that out as well. And you can also email me there. And you can go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page and check out some of the articles I've put up there. I haven't put anything up there for a while, so if you want, you can also go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Check that out as well. And that's what I'll be talking about on the Views Express Live. And, of course, you can get a heads up as to what's going on. And follow along, if you'd like. So anyway, one thing that I have really done in my life is I've stayed educated about things. I've stayed on track with things. Certain areas of life, some people don't even venture into. I have, because I want to know more. I'm an inquisitive little fellow, and I want to know more. And so when somebody says that something doesn't exist or something that doesn't make sense, I go and try to, I look at it. I examine it, Somebody once asked me, how can you prove that God exists? I looked at them and went, how can you prove he doesn't? Well, that pretty much shut them up and they walked away. It's like typical, I hear everything, folks. I'm telling you, I am called every name in the book, and there's a few that are made up. You know what I mean? People have called me a right-wing, Republican and conservative and all this, and somebody's called me oddly enough, someone has called me a lefty, and I'm like, what? Excuse me? No. I don't hold to any Marxist philosophies. Thank you very much. Hang on. So anyway, a little water there, folks. But anyway, when you look at yourself and when you examine what you believe, and if you are left with any questions of anything, that's a sure sign that you need to be taking the next step. And you need to educate yourself on certain things. I have a background in a lot of areas, and I can tell you this. The only reason why I am as well versed in those areas as I am, and I don't know it all, is because of the fact that I have those questions and I take that next step, And it works. I mean, I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I can tell you this much. I'm educated to the point of knowing what it is I talk about, and I can back up what I say. That's where I'm at. And that's how I grew up. My mother said, well, you said that, go show me. I'm like, what? Yeah, show me show me that's what you believe, or show me that's what you're talking about. So I would. And if I didn't have the specifics, she would help me understand the specifics. That was when I was a kid. I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and she was doing this. And that's why I'm very well educated, is because of my mother. And because of looking at the educational indoctrination complex, and looking at the governmental indoctrination institutes, and watching what they do. I can pretty much run circles around them every day. But I've literally put myself in a position to where I want to know. Instead of saying, well, that's just the way it is. No. I'm in the position of, well, I want to know. I don't know it all. I don't claim to know it all. I'd be bored because there wouldn't be anything else to learn. And I don't give anybody the silver platter answer to anything. I give you guides. I point out ways to go look for it. I hopefully encourage you to go dig this information up yourself. So, hey, have at it. Have a nice day along with it. But just examining who you are and giving yourself that reality check and really understanding where you stand, what you are, how passionate you are about certain things. I mean, let's put it this way. It's not like you're going to win the first prize blue ribbon. You're going to know this stuff. Now, somebody once told me, well, if you have all this knowledge and tomorrow you get hit by a bus, what's all that knowledge? Well, did you give that to someone else? Did you talk about what you know? Well, yeah. Well, then somebody else knows about it. So your job pretty much is done, But you're not the only one that knows this information. You're not the only one that knows that 1 + 1 is 2 and all of that. So, we move on from a point because we have questions. We just don't, well, some of us don't just stay there and say, okay, this is all I need to know. I don't need to know anymore. Well, that's your far left liberal libtards that have absolutely, no leg to stand on anywhere. So they just think that life's just going to give them whatever it is they want. Well, and then they're going to pass that on to whoever else wants it. It's called spreading the wealth around, So anyway, all this stuff going on. Let's remember who we are in this group we call humanity, because it doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter what political affiliation you have. It doesn't matter what skin color you have. We're all part of humanity. We're all part of this era of education, hopefully, that we can educate ourselves of these things. But we're all part of humanity, and that's the main thing. It doesn't matter. Some people say, yeah, it does. It matters. Why? Why does it matter? Because you're pissed off that somebody doesn't believe what you believe? You're pissed off that someone doesn't agree with your leftist arguments? I'm not a righty, by the way. I'm nonpartisan. I'm independent. I'm in the middle if you want to lay labels on me. I'm nonpartisan. I don't care about the parties. We shouldn't have parties. I agree with Jesse Ventura. We should not have parties at all. No political party whatsoever. Because, well, why? I disagree with you. Okay, I'm going to set up a political party and I'm going to make you do exactly what I want you to do. And I'm going to make you believe this. That's communism, folks. That's straight out of the fascist playbook, okay? You know what I say? Live and let live. You love one another? Good. Love one another. You care about one another? Good. Care about one another. You don't like that law? Well, then get rid of it. You know, my big question is, why does it cost money to save money? You ever notice that? Well, we're putting a bill through Congress that's going to help us cut the expenditures in this department. Well, how much is that bill going to cost you with you congressmen sitting there arguing about it? How much is it going to cost me, the taxpayer, to put money in your pocket to argue about it for or against it? Okay, why is it cost? If you don't like the law, get rid of it. Repeal it. Get it out of the system. You don't need it. All right, if it's detrimental to the growth of the United States and the entrepreneurial creativity of each individual in this country, get rid of those laws. Get rid of those regulations. You don't need them. You know, that common sense and logic, folks. Unfortunately, not a whole hell of a lot of people have that. I shouldn't say that. But there's quite a few out there that are dumber than a box of rocks that think that you're just going to bend over backwards if they create a law for you to bend over backwards. Excuse me. You know, it's not going to work with me, folks. Not going to work with me at all. Hey, I want to remind you that you can go to thewaynespearshow.weebly.com and check out the page there. Like I said, if you want to sponsor the show, if you want to put an ad here, that's cool. Just email me and ask, and we'll work something out. And if you want to email me directly and ask me anything you want, even if you disagree with me, hey, go ahead. You know, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Join me on the Views Express live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com, on WakingUpTheMasses.com, also at FreeAmericaRadio.com. Also, if you're in the Chickamauga, Georgia area, listen to the Views Express live on 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Thank you. Appreciate that. And remember, hey, just, you know, I'm putting this out here because I think it's important, okay? I'm just putting this out here. You have the opportunity to direct this country into the direction that you want this country to go. Now, reality check. Where do you want this country to go? That's a good question, isn't it? That is a very good question. I would hope that you would have a positive answer to that. So email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. The views expressed today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern at freeamericaradio.us. Talk to you folks later and have a great day.